On Face to Face, we do the big interviews that you want to watch, the interviews that are no holds barred, and we ask the right questions and expect the right answers. We leave the two for you to judge if we did a good job and whether the answers were good. We encourage you to subscribe to the channel and share it as well and let the world know. Thank you for joining us on Face to Face. My guest on Face to Face is one of the few people to have been charged with treason some years back. He is a 63-year-old father of 22. He is member of parliament from Asin Dompin, that's his village, but he represents Asin Central. He used to represent Asin North. Now he wants to be flag bearer of the NPP and possibly president. The Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. You're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Are you stressed on the campaign? I know you campaign, but you're just in a constituency. Now that you are doing national tour, is it too stressful or it's fine?
Oh, it's fine because I've done it for a long time, campaigning for other presidential candidates, and also, so I'm fine with it.
So far, it's good.
Yeah.
I see. You don't look at it and like me cry when the tsunami me bahabe. Then you don't ask yourself sometimes when you go through the rough terrain to do this kind of.
We are all human beings. Sometimes it clicks. Now you begin to ask yourself questions. Why do I even have to do this? Especially when you see the number of businesses that I have and I don't have time to manage it now. Then it comes to mind. Such questions come up.
Mm. People call you a maverick. Others say free your mind. I say you're the Donald Trump of this race. What do you call yourself?
I call myself as the people's man. You see, when you talk of business and you say Donald Trump, I agree. But if you tell me in politics I'm like Donald Trump, I disagree.
Why?
I disagree because I've been in politics for about 32 years. Donald Trump was a typical businessman and he decided to run to make a change, which I agree with him. But some of his policies were too harsh to ordinary citizens in the country. But when it comes to Ohene Agyapong, I always think of the ordinary people first and not the higher class. You know, in America, Republicans, we have something in economics called Reaganomics. Reaganomics, Reagan at his time wanted to build the high class, giving them good money to establish businesses. But they failed because when they empowered them with all these resources, they ended up going to holidays, expensive vacations and everything. So we call it Reaganomics. Although MPP, we are aligned to Republicans, naturally, I'm a Democrat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in your heart, you are Democrat?
Yes.
By your party. Why? What about Democrats do you like that you want to replicate in Ghana?
See, Democrats, they always make policies that takes care of the ordinary people. And the Republicans, you know, sometimes their decisions are very tough and it does not favor the ordinary people in society.
So you're not a conservative?
I'm not. And I'm not a socialist. I'm liberal.
You're liberal?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the difference.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, then why not with the National Democratic Congress
I'm
in
not
Ghana?
a socialist. I'm liberal.
You've always been, do you have NPP in your family or you are the first person to really join the party?
I'm the first person.
What did your family think about you joining politics and for that matter, the blue?
Well, you know, to tell you the truth, my father was in full support. My mother couldn't take it because of the insults and all those things. And to break the news to you, my mother died because of threats on me. When Honorable Collins Dada threatened, his brother threatened to kill me. I remember my mother died on the 13th of November. On the 10th, I visited her and she was pleading with me to stop politics because they said they're going to kill me and Kwame, you will kill me, Kwame, you will kill me. That was Thursday. I think Friday, I left for Kumasi and Sunday afternoon coming back to Accra, I got the bad news that my mother had died. because she was saying, my heart, my heart, my heart, you'll kill me, you'll kill me.
I'm sorry about that. If she were alive and seeing all your billboards and posters and your campaign in town, what would he say to you? Are you the first or last son or middle?
I'm the first.
First child.
Yes.
If he calls you, what would she have said to you if she were alive?
Well, she said, you're a hardcore guy, because she's giving me advice to stop, and I didn't. I wanted to make a difference in society. And that day, I was joking with her, and I said, if you say they are insulting me, I also insult them. They are also people's children.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you worry about these things? It's the nature of the game. So take heart. But she couldn't.
It's good you mentioned insult, because that's what I was going to, and it's a good segue. When the name Ohene Agyapong is mentioned, acerbic comes to mind. He has an acerbic tongue. He insults. In fact, preparing for this interview, I decided to just do a quick Google search I just wrote Ohene Agyapong insults, and the turnover was huge. I could read a number of headlines that popped up, and I'm wondering, how do you behave that way? You've insulted presidents, you've insulted chiefs, you've insulted journalists, you've insulted Efiasu as nigger, you've insulted members of parliament, you've insulted journalists. At least those are all the quotations. Some are in video, some are in text. As a child growing up, I was told not to insult people. You want to be president of the land. Culturally, do these insults stick with the personality you are seeking to be now?
You know what? Let me tell you something. In Ghana here, the problem we have is they always misconstrue confidence to be arrogant. I'm a confident person and I speak my mind. In plain words, I'll tell you like this. But in Ghana, even when they're going to insult you, they'll say, oh, please. Like, with all due respect to the
Sebi.
Yeah, Kuyapim and Nakan, oh, Sebi, Mipa Chose, and all those things. And the result is the same. Sebi, Wejimi. Mipa Chose, we are boa. Ohene Agyapong comes and say, Wejimi, we are boa. And they think because I didn't use the word Sebi or Mipa Cho, it makes a difference. It doesn't make a difference.
But is it good to insult?
I reciprocate action.
So you are a tit for tat person?
Normally, yes.
If you became president and someone insults you, you take the presidential convoy and go and insult them back. Is that how you're going to behave?
You see, when you are president, you are a leader for your country and you represent your country. You cannot be talking like that. And I'll ignore most of them. I'm not even going to comment. Of late, if you have watched whatever behavior I put up, there are a lot of insults here and there, but I just ignore them.
But old habits die hard. If it's something that, and I'm a media person, and even before I started practicing journalism, when you sit on national agenda on Net2 in the past, and I've followed Net2, I've followed Oman FM, and even your newspaper, the national agenda,
Right.
I think it died later on. But, and when you go to Adum FM and all these places, I remember when you were engaging the late Alhaji Bature,
Right.
you insulted even his father, and even sounded ethnocentric when he said, when you made your first 1 million or something like to that effect, his father was a watchman or something to that effect. Did you have to go down that low?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because, you see, with all due respect to you, journalists, if Ghana is going to burn, it's journalists, because most of you don't speak the truth.
Really?
Yes. Read my lips.
Explain.
In the sense that, at least, you should have given me benefit of the doubt to ask, is this man mad to describe Alhaji Bature as this, and that? Nobody. All what he says. You see, I changed my attitude and began to reciprocate action, because in this country, I was here for some time, and NDC insults people and they get away with murder. I say, how can we allow a group of people to insult people and get away with murder? The first time I reciprocated action was when one NDC guy insulted President Kufuor and said he's a dumb, he cannot even speak good English and all those things. All these words that he used for President Kufuor, because he's an NDC, nobody said anything. What did Alhaji Bature say about my family before I said that? I mean, we have to be fair. And if I ask you the question, you cannot give me answer because, with all due respect to you, most of you are stereotyped. And most of us, we consume information without digesting it. I was responding to the accusations by Alhaji Baturi. But whatever he accused me of, nobody heard it. It is only Ohene Agyapong's response. That I think is not fair in this country.
Are you a Christian?
I am.
I think the Bible said somewhere that let go and let God. Have you ever considered that?
The Bible also says that you should crack the whip.
So you are cracking the whip?
Yeah, sometimes, not
Even
all
though
the time.
it would come out as, you said that when you are confident, they say you're arrogant, but it will come out as you are disrespectful, you are insulting. It doesn't bother you. That's a tag that's put on your head.
It doesn't bother me because it's the truth. I speak the truth. Ghana here, a lot of people are afraid to speak the truth. And when you speak the truth, they say you're arrogant. They say you are insulting. You mentioned Efua Schwarzenegger. I never knew her until she went on Peace FM to insult me. It was my colleague MP who told me that, what have you done to Efua Schwarzenegger? I said, who is Efua Schwarzenegger? Then he retorted, you don't even know her? I'm saying, no. I said, go and ask for the tape. The way this woman was insulting you. So I took the tape and listened to what he said. And I had to go down to her level for also to let her feel the pain that every individual that he has insulted in this country also feels.
Do you feel children who are watching you should reciprocate what you are doing? Should they learn that from you?
What you can learn everything from me because my good things outweighs the bad things you claim to be.
In Parliament, the House had to reprimand you because you insulted Parliament.
For speaking the truth.
So you see...
For speaking the truth.
So what is called insult for you is speaking the truth?
Yeah, it's the truth. Ghana, when you speak the truth, they say you are insulting.
But you see, you're a member of Parliament where language is very, very much sensitive.
And I want you to do me a favor and quote at least some of the insults.
Oh, if I were to go on, some are horrible. I don't even want to know if whether they are correct or not, but I could read some of them for you.
Yeah, read.
I have taken the burden to take a screenshot of a number of them while I look for them. Parliament reprimanded you. They said that what you did was unparliamentary. Look at some headlines. Angry Ohene Agyapong insults his workers for running adverts before his interview. That's one. Ohene Agyapong angrily insults Efua Schwarzenegger over arrest claims. Showers of insult. Efua Schwarzenegger blazes her gun at Ohene Agyapong. IGP pardons Ohene Agyapong for insults. IGP, former Inspector General of Police, Kudalo. Apparently you had insulted him and said he was an asshole. You said this on TV. That's what has been quoted as you saying. Ohene Agyapong pleads with judges after TV insults. You insulted a judge, a number of judges. It doesn't end there. There are several other problems. In fact, Ghana Web has a catalog. They describe it as a dossier. Ohene Agyapong insults IGP. And they have a list of people you have insulted there. They put it up there for you. Then look at them. This is Ghana Web. I am out of insults. I'm a gentleman, Ohene Agyapong. That sounded like you had repented.
Who said that?
This was you, December 2016. They said you said you would stop insulting.
I haven't said that. Okay. Which means whatever you are saying, you see, that's what I told you initially. That at least they should have given me benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
To ask, why did this MP say this? All these things, they didn't bring it. And all they said is insult, insult, insult. You journalists, most of you are not fair.
Really?
Yes.
You insulted Boabin Asamoah, and he says Boabin Asamoah reacts to Ohene Agyapong's insults at him. This was your former director of communication. Ohene Agyapong in hot waters, judge summons him over insults. Ohene Agyapong shows no mercy on baby mama, replies her insults and apology. Ohene Agyapong cautioned and discharged for insulting a judge. This is another headline, myinfo.com. Ohene Agyapong insults Sami Dakun, a lawyer, in court, and judge had to intervene. And it continues just by Googling insults.
I'm telling you, you are all biased.
How?
Biased.
Did you not say these things?
What did Sami Daku say in court?
What did he say?
You see, I'm trying to be nice, but I know you are an intelligent journalist. I expect you also to probe into it. What did Sami Daku say in court?
What did he say, sir?
You don't know, but you are quoting
the
him.
publications from the reporters in the court.
I'm sorry, I tell you the truth. That you also have the same problem.
Okay.
Because You did not even ask what Sami Darko said, and I replied them.
Okay.
All you are quoting is what, they said he insulted Sami Darko. That boy, he can be my child. Do you know what he said? The description he gave me? I want you to go and find out.
Okay, but you see, the issue is that because the judge had to intervene, as a journalist, I appeal to authority in my reportage. If the judge asked you to withdraw, it means that what you said was unprintable.
But the judge did not ask him to withdraw.
Usually when the judge sits...
No, I'm saying that. I'm asking you, my brother. I want to prove something to you. Right. How journalists, some of you are so unfair, and you only consume information. And some of them, they are just diabolic. They're going to bend this country. Because the actual things that prevail, they will never say it. They'll just pick an issue, then just spread it, and nobody will probe into that statement. Then they will come out with their conclusions. That is not fair to me.
When you attack journalists, you own a media empire.
Yeah, so that is why.
Are they also unprofessional?
That is why I'm fair. Let me give you one example. Why I sacked Justice Annan. Justice Annan insulted Vice President. Justice Annan was biased to a man who was an adjudicator for Mr. Prempe, the former Director Controller General. He died in his estate. One Mr. Boateng has to wait. You know, this gentleman did not even call Mr. Boateng for his side of the story. He made series of publications against this man. When we had this election at the stadium, I know the man. I went there to greet him. The way the man behaved, he embarrassed me. I said, oh, what? And he won't listen to me. Oh, yeah, you did it. And I said, I don't even know what you are talking about. Later on, I went to find out from Oman FM and Netu that they had even taken the matter to court. Media Commission has asked Justice Annan to apologize to the man, and he refused. According to the man, somebody at my media stations told him that I am the one behind it for Justice Annan to destroy him, which I didn't even know about it.
It was not true.
No, I did not even know about it. So I realized, no, I can lose good friends. Although I'm contesting the vice president, I will not stand anywhere and insult him. Whether I like it or not, he's the vice president.
You campaign for him.
Right. And if you follow the trend, there's nowhere I have insulted the vice president. Again, this noble man that really likes me, I like him. His daughter's wedding, I was there, only for him to embarrass me. So I decided to verify. And when I verified, they gave me the report from Media Commission. So I said, this thing can go on. You see, he destroyed the man, and he was so hurt. This is the problem I have. So if the person is working for me, and he's not doing the right thing, and I'm not able to check him, how would I have the courage even to say something to you if you also do something wrong? So I think we have to be fair to everybody.
But the approach you use, you don't think that sometimes you let your emotions take the better side of your judgment? Does that not...
Well, what approach is that?
The approach that's... I
mean, you see, let me tell you.
In Parliament, just a second, in Parliament, when you say the least word, the Speaker would ask you to withdraw. They say it's unparliamentary, which means that Parliament is a house of decorum. We watch you in the well. We see how you people speak. The least word you use against your colleague, even if it's a gesture, recently the Speaker had to ask your colleague to withdraw. Do you not think that you should replicate that also on the public scene so that we make progress and have decency or decorum?
You see, you use the word decency and decorum. Is decency applies to everybody, or it applies to a section or a group of people in this country, and other groups are not? You know, so we have to be careful. I'll tell you, I always reciprocate action. And before I come out, you would have done it for several times that I don't even say anything. So one day, when I come out, the public, the society, everywhere, because it's Ohene Agyapong, they have a news. That I think is not fair.
Okay.
If we really want to develop this country, We should all build this. Have confidence, bold, honest, sincere, discipline, and change this country. But a situation where when you respond to somebody's allegation, somebody's insult, and they ignore
what was said against
what
you.
was said against you and reprimand you for what you have said, I think it's wrong.
This is Face to Face on CDTV. My guest is Honorable Ohene Agyapong. He wants to be flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. When we come back, I'll ask him about the economy. The man at the second position in the government now is an economist. He was celebrated by the NPP and introduced to us. We have seen what is happening to the economy. We have the men, is what the NPP said. Things are not looking that good. What is he going to do differently? He is not an economist. How can he succeed where the big economists failed? Stay with us.
City TV is live on DSTV. Find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD Plus boxes. City TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on CDTV. My name is Umar Rusanda Amadou. My guest is Honorable Ohene Agyapong, flag bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party. Your party, and I remember you vividly at Manchagbona when you introduced this whole Woyome. In fact, Woyome's problem was started by you at Manchagbona, right, when you quoted what the Auditor General report and it became a song, Woyome, all of that. You didn't win 2012, but eventually you managed to tag the Mahama government as corrupt. The government you are in now, or the party that is from the government, is a party you belong to. You are campaigning against corruption. The president who leads this government has been tagged by no less a person than the man he appointed as special prosecutor, Martin Amidu. Martin Amidu described the president as a mother serpent of corruption. You are in this party and in this government. What do you make of the Akufo-Addo government's fight against corruption?
To be frank with you, whatever we said during the campaign, we've not been able to do it, fighting corruption. But I'll give him benefit of the doubt because there are so many cases that have gone to court and manipulations and maliciations and whatever. None of them. They've not even completed about 5 of them. So Ghanaians are impatient. And because of that, people are doing things with impunity. But when we are blaming the president, you should blame the judiciary too.
How?
Because of delays. Because of delays.
The Attorney General succeeded in daily prosecutions for your colleague from Asin North. If the government is committed and the president himself is committed, they would have gotten these cases to, don't you think?
Well, you know, let me give you this example. Opuni. Opuni.
Cocoa board.
Yeah, cocoa board. Right from 2017, we're in 2023. How many years now?
6.
Right. Nothing has been done. But even the reference you just made, you see, when the president also made a mistake to comment on whatever he preempted the judgment. You see how people also lashed him. So we allowed the judiciary to work and everything. I agree with you that the Attorney General is expediting it. It doesn't mean the judge. Attorney General can push the judge to take a decision and say that within 2 days he should give judgment. No. I am not condoning to anything, but what I'm saying is judiciary is part of the problem. The government is also part of the problem. So you cannot accuse only the government. At least he has set example of, sending cases to the court And I've given you one example where 6 years, nothing has been done and all those things.
But you knew this and yet you attacked John Mahama. At least he has jailed, and I'm not using him being the one who jailed, but jailed some of his officers when he was in office. You haven't done that. In fact, your president has been, and I'm using your president here to mean the NPP-led, but I mean he's our president, has been described as a clearing agent. I'm sure you have seen that and heard that. It means that he's not interested in fighting corruption. And for his special prosecutor to say he was mother serpent of corruption, that means he's the hen that sits on the eggs of corruption in this country. That's a problem. For a party that told us you're coming to remove corrupt Mahama and all his people and fix Ghana, we are not seeing that.
You see, the problem here is that before this, whatever we said, I think we made a mistake by not changing the mindset and conscientizing Ghanaians. Because if we want to fight corruption in this country, whatever decision that you are coming out, Ghanaians should be your partners. Partners in the sense that you should educate Ghanaians to let them know that this has gone wrong and we have to correct it. If we don't, it is not good for our country. It is not good for development. If not, even we politicians, especially our accused the Parliament, we take entrenched position. If it's MPP, you see all MPP members of Parliament supporting. If it is NDC, you see NDC members of Parliament supporting. When it happens like that, it makes it difficult to fight corruption. You know very well that what this individual has done is not good for the country. He's been taken to court. He has not even been jailed. And right there, you see interference. That is a problem. It's part of it. So I think if we really want to fight corruption, I will tell you that those who say that, oh, this man is corrupt, this woman is corrupt, naturally, almost everybody in this country, we are all corrupt. You know why? Because right from our inception, when we were born, our culture alone, the children, what they see at home, it becomes an imprint in the brain, and they think they are doing the right thing. It is only few that come out and realize what my parents were doing
It's not right.
Yeah, was not right for the country. So when we are talking of corruption, we are all corrupt.
Okay.
So for us to change Ghana and eliminate or reduce, I would say reduce, because everywhere in the world, some people are corrupt. They avoid taxes and all those things. So I think to reduce corruption in this country, we have to educate every Ghanaian. Every Ghanaian should be a partner to the government, so that we begin to teach them, advise them, and let them know that even if you go to work and you're supposed to start at 8 and you go at 10, it's against the normal time that we have to go.
So that's also corruption.
Yeah,
corruption of morals and all of
right,
that.
all those things. So
I googled your name and added corruption. Lots of headlines. I'm just going to read two for you. The first one says, Ohene Agyapong vows to commit suicide if Mahama is not jailed. This is Ibrahim Mahama. This was 2017. Speaking on Adum TV, Maverick politician said, quote, I will take in poison and kill myself if Ibrahim Mahama is not jailed, unquote. He should watch and hear me well. I'll take in poison and die if Ibrahim is not jailed. This was because you thought he was corrupt. 6 years
and
on,
he is corrupt.
but he has not gone to jail. 6 years on.
No, let me tell you. You see why I blame the judges and everything? Ibrahim Mahama, okay, was clearing all his machines without paying taxes, duties.
That's an allegation.
I took him on, and he went and paid 14 million. You didn't hear. A good journalist like you didn't hear.
I did.
That's where I have a problem. If you did, indeed, you would not even make this statement.
But so that is why.
And let me tell you, the culture, what I talk about culture, some big chiefs, some big politicians were begging on his behalf. And now he gets the moral rights even to make such a statement.
Do you not think you gave him the chance? Because if you tagged him as corrupt and
but
now,
he's corrupt. I've given you one example
saying,
where he didn't
so
pay
my point
the
is that
duties.
if you tagged him as corrupt, now you come and your record isn't that better, it means you gave him the moral high ground to make the comments against
How?
you. And
Have I been charged of corruption?
not yet.
Yeah, so it's not me personally.
Okay. Okay. There's another story. I have corruption evidence that can destroy NPP, Kennedy Agyapong. This was 1 year ago. You are condoning and using corruption as a blackmail too? You want to be
my
president?
brother, I have a problem. With all due respect.
Yes.
Sometimes the words you journalists use, I've told you earlier on that if Ghana is going to burn, it will come from journalists and because of misreporting. Because of misreporting.
But there's a quote here. Let me read
What
it
is
for
the
you and
quote?
tell me if you didn't say this. Claiming that the NPP's Director of Communication, Mr. Yabobian Samoa, has been speaking disparagingly about him, Kennedy Agyapong warned that, quote, if NPP folks dare me, I swear God, I will release an Anas video, unquote, he filmed in Tree. You didn't say this.
And you see the Anas video I'm talking about, you see when he released just a portion of it, the Minister of Finance was sacked.
So it means you have evidence that there's corruption in the government and you are sitting on it. You didn't
I
go
have-
to OSP?
I took it to court. That is why Anas too, the judge found him guilty.
Okay, Mama.
Because you know what? I gave the evidence to him to prove. This Anas example, honestly, is entrapment. It doesn't mean because the way he entrapped those people, they made a mistake. If I show you the videos, they are here. If I show you, you see that he entrapped them. But I was saying that if I should come out and show all these videos without even giving you background of it, because we all consume information, the way they see it, they will think that NPP is corrupt and it will collapse the government.
So it's not as if the government was corrupt, you have the filler, but you are keeping it under your pillow. That's not what it meant.
I was not keeping it under my pillow because I presented it to the court. So
Okay.
how would you say that?
Very well.
The moment you take it to court, it's public.
And then it goes for it.
Right.
The president you campaigned for, he
Right.
extolled Anas's virtues and said he was going to use the Anas model in his fight against corruption.
Yeah.
Yet you don't agree with Anas.
Let me tell you something. Today, I want you to go and interview President Akufo-Addo. And if you make that statement again,
You think he has recanted?
of course, yes, because I've given enough evidence. And I know for sure, after watching the video where he sacked Edubuahin, I know he has regretted. Because they all saw the video and it was completely entrapment. You see? So those like
So you don't
Obama,
agree with that principle?
no, so Obama came here and all of us were believing in Anas because of the way. But when I started criticizing his modus operandi and videos started coming, I have a lot of videos on Anas, evidence. Then I realized it was, it was complete entrapment. Not that the people were corrupt.
So you had an opposing view to what many people hold the
And
view
I
of
proved
Anas.
to the whole
Okay.
country.
Now, Ahmed Swale
Right.
is dead.
Right.
It's an albatross around your neck
How?
because of what you said publicly
What
on TV.
What did I say?
Oh, you said that if they see him, they should beat him. I have a quotation.
Yes.
And because NDC has said that in 2024, all they need is a DJ to be playing back sound bites of NPP people. They don't have to say anything. And
Well,
also they are
I
going
can defend everything.
Okay.
And MPP, I will also play if I win as a presidential candidate. I'll bring all their corruption.
So this is what you said about Ahmed. You showed his video and said, this Ahmed, you all know he lives in Medina. When you see him, beat him.
You see,
Did you say
I have
that?
a problem with you journalists.
Okay.
And you are going to burn this country.
You said this on your Net 2
Hold
TV.
on, hold on.
That's where I
You
took it from.
see, I've said this several times. Let me tell you what transpired. I showed the video of Ahmed Swale. And when they saw it, my workers came to me and said, Honorable, don't you know this guy? You even gave him 1,500 to go and pay his school fees, which I always do for people, so I don't even remember. Then I said to them, then you have to be careful. If this guy comes here, beat him up. because he's going to set this company up.
Was
I said,
was
when
that,
he
was
comes
that a good thing to say?
Yes.
Beat,
Yes.
like physical,
Yes.
beat him.
Yes. Not that
You don't regret that
no,
comment now?
No, not that I want to be president and therefore I will come and tell you I didn't say that. No. I said if he comes to my premises, I didn't say go and beat him outside. No.
Okay.
I said, they said, oh, he has been coming here. I said, no. Based on the evidence I had, you know, Ahmed Swale's problem, may he so rest in peace. He made a lot of mistakes. You know why? All the investigations Anas did, Anas never showed up with his face. Ahmed Swale showed his face. So all the people that he embarrassed in this country, Anas embarrassed in this country, it was Ahmed Swale who set them up. Ahmed Swale was the one who set the finance minister and those finance people up with some renowned lawyer. They never saw Anas's face. So if I say that this is the guy, and let me tell you the truth today, this cannot be an albatross on me. Let me tell you something. When I showed the face of Ahmed Swale, the finance minister was on his way to Dubai to meet them. So the Minister of State, yes, Minister of State, Edubuahin, called him and said, Eish, I have seen this on net too. This is entrapment. He actually met them and he snubbed them. He snubbed them. They didn't know it was Anas until I showed the face and connected Ahmed Swale to Anas. So how on earth would you say that I say if he comes to my premises, beat him up because he's going to set us up? And look, Kwesi Nyantakyi, look at the way he was rising in this country. And it was not Anas. It was Ahmed Swale who destroyed Kwesi Nyantakyi. Because Anas, he never met him until Kwesi Nyantakyi, he went to Dubai with the Liberian president, thinking they would get money because of the way Ahmed Swale was talking. He disappointed them. So when Kwesi Nyantakyi came back to Ghana, he threatened to sue Ahmed Swale. That is when Anas owned up that, oh, he's sorry, he was the one who did this and that. And they went there the second time and he disgraced them.
Let's move away from corruption. Let's talk about the economy. It was a big deal. NPP said to us that you had the men. You've been in power for 6 years. You have said your money that you had has been devalued under your own government. These are top economies, and I remember Dr. Bawumia mentioning the list of men that you have who have economic background. All these guys are around the table and things have gone south. You are not an economist. What can you do differently, or what would you do differently?
I would do things differently because I'm pragmatic. I believe in physical things, things that I've seen that can develop this country. I'm not a theorist. Most of them are theorists. They propound theories and it never works. If there is a change in the world economy, then they begin to have problems. I'll give you an example how I'm going to change this economy. I mean, from your name, I can tell that you are from the north. Look, the 5 northern regions, the arable lands that we have there, Volta region, Afram Plains and Accra Plains, when we go into agro-processing with mechanized farming, my brother, we'll be able to change the fortunes of this country. For instance, about 2 weeks ago, African leaders went to Russian summit and embarrassed themselves by asking Russia for grains. With all these arable lands we have in Africa, our leaders cannot go into mechanized farming, processing, and we are always begging for food.
But we said planting for food and jobs, so what went wrong with that?
Let me tell you something. Planting for food. One day, I met a group of agriculturists and all those things, and I gave them example. Why I'm saying I'm pragmatic. I gave them example that when you are going to Tema, you cross the toll booth, look on your right. I will say illegal because the land doesn't belong to them. But they are using Ghana water. They piped it and small irrigation.
To grow lettuce.
Yeah, go and see the yield over there.
It's beautiful.
Good. So why can't we irrigate most of our lands? And that day I was so disappointed. The answer was that irrigation is too expensive. I said, oh, gee. And you see, you talk of irrigation being too expensive in terms of short run, but long run, it is cheaper. Because when you go to South Africa, they grow maize 365 days. If you want corn, you will get it. But here it's seasonal because they irrigate the lands. At least these Ashama guys, when you are coming from Tema to Accra, when you go past Ashama, come to 24 on your right, maize up to now, you see it. Because they use that small dirty river or gutter over there.
And we can replicate this in the country.
That is the example I gave them. And they didn't accept it.
But the people who are in charge of our agriculture sector, and I'm referring to the civil servant, will be the same people in the Ohene Agyapong government.
Ohene Agyapong will fire you. Discipline in this country. Let me give you one example. Why, if you make a mistake, we have to fire you. One, I have a problem with people who think they have served for so many years, unproductive hours, unproductive days, unproductive years, and they think they need promotion. They are due. They have to. I am going to base promotion in this country on performance.
It's good you talk about firing. President Akufo-Addo has been accused of being lenient too much to his appointees. Okay, land, please.
I wanted to land. So, because of, I'll give you one example. Why I have decided to contest as a presidential candidate or flag bearer is that as far back as Honorable Kwashige's time, I did experiment on 2 products. One, yam. I took yam to Holland, a company called Grasso. They did experiment, and we can store yam for 8 months. Fish. I also educated them that fish, June, July, August, we throw fish back into the sea. We need blast freeze machines before the coast or along the coast so that we can blast freeze the catch at minus 41 degrees for 24 hours. Then you move it from the blast freeze room to the coastal minus 10-12%. And it meets international standard that we can export. My brother, they didn't listen to me. So the technical guys, if I tell you, first of all, I will expose them to the way they do things in terms of agriculture. Exposing them meaning will give them opportunity to go and train elsewhere. I believe in India and China.
You are looking east, you don't look west.
No, I will use Asia Miracle to develop this country. So when we have gone round, my first 100 days, apart from conscientizing Ghanaians or changing the mindset, everybody, anybody that I will appoint as a minister, I'm going to use Plato's ideal word. Put them in a room, bring experts to educate them and show them the way to do things differently from what we are doing. So when you are given all these opportunity and you still go back to what you are used to and it's not productive, I'm afraid we have to let you go.
If you were President Akufo-Addo today, who would you fire in his government?
I don't know.
You don't want to pass a judgment on any of them.
Yeah, because sometimes it's allegations, and I wouldn't say this man or that because I've been accused of saying so many things
that you don't you don't want to hang people.
No, yeah, which I did not know, which I did not even say.
Yeah.
And the headlines
have misled you.
Yeah.
There's another headline I'm going to quote, but that will be after this break. Ohene Agyapong has said that forget 2024 if you go to IMF. NPP is at IMF now. Should we forget 2024? Please stay with us. This Face to Face.
City TV is live on DSTV. Find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117. And on HD Plus, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD Plus boxes. City TV, it's your world.
You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on City TV. My name is Omar Sandama. Dr. Baumia says it is possible. Alan Kojo Tremantin says Edrunisu. Ohene Agyapong says it's Ken's hour. There are 10 of you on the field. Why do you think you should emerge victorious?
I thought you said you were going to IMF first.
Oh, IMF is at the end because whoever comes out, IMF is going to be an albatross around your neck. So,
yeah, you know, I will be different, and I have an advantage over the rest because everybody says leadership by example. The situation we are in now, the unemployment rate is so high in this country that I feel we have to create job opportunities for the youth. That is the only way we can move this country. Again, I believe in one thing. This is just a sin dumping LA Middle School economics.
not some big one be from anywhere.
No, this big English and
just a roadside economics.
Yes, simple. My policy on taxes will be reduce and expand. What I mean by reduce is that taxes in Ghana here are so high, but only few people are paying taxes. A lot of people don't pay tax. And if I say reduce, I use hotels in this country as an example. There are 17 different taxes on a hotel. I was in Dubai last week, and 3 rooms with my family were 6, 3 rooms. It was 1,500 dirhams a day, which means each room was $140 with breakfast. Look, that same room in Ghana here will be about 500. How? So if I decide to go on vacation, these 2 countries where I can get a hotel room with breakfast for $140 and a country, a hotel room with breakfast for $400, which one would you choose?
The cheaper one, of course.
Case closed. So for us to build tourism in this country, all these things will come to play. So why I'm different from all the candidates?
Before you go to that, Professor Mills was a taxman or a revenue authority guy before he became president. They've talked so many times about widening the tax net, and it did not end anywhere. This government has said you're going to move from taxation to production. Nothing has happened. You are sure that you, who is not educated in taxing, can be the guy who fixes that problem?
See, I keep telling you theory. I'm a pragmatic person. I have experience more than, with all due respect to Professor Mills, because he's bookish. I'm sorry to use that word. Ohene Agyapong, I'm a politician and a businessman. Let me show you the difference between me and Mills, who was a taxer. I am fortunate to employ educated people, uneducated people, and the artisans. And I can tell you, artisans make more money than some of the educated people. I'll give you one example. A mason at my construction site in Tema makes 150 Ghana cedis a day. In 26 days, he makes almost 4,000 cedis. Graduates at Oman FM and Ken City, just as you said that we don't pay journalists well, make between 2,007, 3,000, and they pay tax. The mason who makes 4,000 cedis doesn't pay tax. A contractor, he says I shouldn't use him. He came to beg my wife, saying that, oh, my boss is always mentioning me. I've not mentioned his name, but he feels guilty. You see, there should be a system where I'll be able to check that the guy that I'm paying this amount also pays tax. I always argue with him. I want to deduct tax from him, but there's no means because he's not registered.
So the means that has been produced is a digitalization agenda championed and led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Many people in your government hold the view that he is the guy who laid that foundation for the digital economy. Let him be there. Why do you want to contest him and other people who are in the
I
race?
wanted to finish my explanation.
Go ahead.
You see, I'm talking about taxes, the reduce and expand. If we don't do respect, you let me finish.
Please go ahead.
A contractor charges me $11.8 million for foundations to fix my steel plant machines. His labor charge out of the 11.8 was 2.4 million. All these 2.4 million goes to this guy and his workers, no tax, because I don't have a means to take tax from them. So when Ohene Agyapong, is given the opportunity, every artisan, everybody working in this country will have to register and have a license and a PIN number so that we can tax them. Then, when we have widened the net like this, we'll be able to reduce taxes, especially the port. Port customs, they are all suffering because a lot of traders or importers have stopped because of high tariffs. And they are high because it's direct tax. They are able to assess that more than this indirect tax where you have to go through so many channels before you get it. That is where Vice President digitization will come in. So we have to lay the foundation first. Digitization doesn't mean you should go and have a license. You should have the license first before you digitize the person. You have to get a social security number or a PIN number or tax ID before you digitize it.
Okay.
So we have to lay the foundation. Conscientization of Ghanaians that everybody, no matter how small your money is, you have to pay a little. When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, shoe shine, the guys doing the shoe shine, they even pay tax, but they give them flat rate. See, it's so sad that only 600 large companies in the whole country that are paying large taxes. And I'll give you one example. Why I'm different from other candidates is that I'm well versed in business. I can give you a number of examples. Just recently, I was fighting with Ghana Revenue Authority because my co-store, I have registered VAT for VAT. And because of the VAT, my fish is more expensive than the Lebanese next door to me, who has not registered to pay VAT. And you see a fleet of trucks, although his co-store is smaller than mine will be about 10 times or 14 times than his. But the volumes count. So if you look at the size of the co-store and say you are not going to pay VAT, you are doing a disservice to this nation.
Okay.
The VAT should be based on volumes. Okay. Whatever he sells, he pays VAT on it.
Honorable, the 10 of you who are contesting, anyone who emerges the winner would have to sell the NPP's campaign in election 2024. I want you to speak to NPP delegates who are disgruntled, and I'm referring to the base of the party, disgruntled about the state of affairs, not even NDC and other people. What would you say to them, considering that the things you said you will not do, you will not go to IMF, you have gone? What are you going to say to them to motivate your base, first of all, before you even appeal to the nation?
I'm going to tell them that they should give Ohene Agyapong opportunity to create employment for them. In life, the only thing that will make you survive is when you are working. And look, we have a lot of tourist sites in this country, undeveloped, untapped. That will not take more than 6 months. Tourism. I'll use tourism to boost this economy. First, for example, when President declared the year of return, from October to January 2019 or so, tourism made about $1.4 billion. Call it 3 months. Mm-hmm. So can you imagine if we have developed the tourist sites, this castle, Osu Castle, I'll move everybody from there and give them different office, a heritage. And I'll develop Osu Castle in such a way that it will attract a lot of tourists because I'm going to buy ships and put it there. We'll write point of no return. When you go through the tunnel,
You enter the ship.
you enter the ship. In the ship, there'll be live band music, food, restaurant, whatever drinks you want. And you ride from Osu all the way to Winneba and back. The ticket that you buy gives you food and a drink. So during the entertainment, the live band and everything, we have beautiful women dancing, and you get carried away.
You may marry an extra wife.
Well, if you choose to. Now you don't know what I am going to do, so I will not advise you.
You won't advise polygamy, would you?
Yeah, I will advise you.
Kafra, why?
So by the time you come back, you would have spent more money.
We have to go, but how would you explain the IMF U-turn to your party people?
The IMF, I've given you answer to the IMF based on my principles.
Domesticate.
Tourism, agri and mechanization and agro-processing, IT, which I call technology and engineering. These 4 areas will change Ghana for good, especially tourism and agro-processing.
But you owe Ghanaians an apology?
No.
You don't?
No. About what?
For the promises you made that you have failed to deliver.
Who made that promise?
Me, the NPP, not me, the Ohene Agyapong.
So I didn't make any promise because as an individual, I have given a lot of suggestions that they did not take. Like the example I gave you that we have to do irrigation and they didn't mind it. President Kufuor's time when I was advising Minister of Agric to, have warehouses that were blowers, can store yam for 8 months, telling them to build blast freeze machines so that our fish that we catch, we can export. They didn't listen to me. So who will blame me for that?
We have to go now, but there is a rumor out there that Afo Kennedy, he's just doing this. Later on, he's going to throw his support again behind somebody, and that he's just doing this to scuttle the race. I want you to look at the camera and say on authority that you're running this race to the end and that you're not just doing some experiments, because the numbers are looking good for you in terms of the polls.
You see?
Are you in to support someone or you are going to the end?
My brother, election is expensive. If you know how much I've spent, those who are sitting back there thinking Ohene Agyapong is doing it for somebody, I'm afraid they have to change their mind. And again, the policies that I have, none of them going around has been able to tell the delegates in Ghana what they are going to do for the country. So I stand out. Look, 4 days ago, this weekend, Sunday or so, I got 17 lecturers from Legon who said, they came to me, moving peak here, and said that they are all lecturers, but they believe and accept that they are theorists. And they buy into the pragmatism policy that I have been talking about. And therefore, they want to be part of it. 17 lecturers. On Sunday, they were here. That alone tells you something. So I'm in for good.
We wish you all the best and thank you for speaking to us.
You're welcome, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
That's Honorable Kennedy.
I hope I've been able to clear some of the
You have told your
misconceptions.
story, and that's essentially what we sought to do to let you speak to the issues that have been raised against you. Thank you. We hope to speak to you again. Maybe, what number do you hope to be at the top in the top 5? I know you want to be in the top 5, but which position? You want number 1, number 2, number 3?
Number 1.
You think you can beat the 2 of them?
Why
Alan
not?
and Ken?
Why not? Everything is possible.
Alan and Baumia.
Everything is possible.
You're confident you'll be sworn in as president?
Yes.
What will be the first thing you do as president if you're elected in 2025?
Changing the mindset. What I'll do is, and I've started, it's good you came up with this question.
We are signing out. I just wanted one thing you do.
I'll bring all musicians together to let them come up with heroic songs, and we'll organize a concert like We Are the World. R&B, high lives, reggae, gospel, they all come together and play all these songs. Then after that, we'll give it to the media and schools to play for Ghanaians to be patriotic, honest, and disciplined.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's the Honorable Ohene Agyapong. He wants to be flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. This has been Face to Face. My name is Umaru Sandamado. Thank you. Keep watching City TV. It's your world.